The weight of hurt hung in the air like a thick fog. Tolu sat at the dining table, her hands clutching a cup of tea that had long since gone cold. The words of betrayal echoed in her mind, sharp as broken glass. Her husband, Deo, had said things that night which pierced her heart, things she never thought she'd hear from the man who once vowed to protect her heart. Across the room, Deo stood by the window, looking out but seeing nothing. The tension in the house was suffocating, a silence louder than any argument. He knew he'd been wrong, and the guilt gnawed at him, but something inside kept him from crossing the room to her. Could he fear? Maybe both. Forgiveness. It's easy to talk about, but hard to live out when wounds are fresh. But forgiveness holds a kind of magic, one that can heal not only the person who was wronged, but also the one who caused the pain. It's the key to restoring relationships, even when they seem broken beyond repair. Tolu stared at the wedding photo on the wall. How had they come from that day, filled with love and promises, to this moment of cold distance? She wasn't sure if she could forgive. It felt like giving Deo a free pass for his mistakes, like letting him off the hook. But then a quiet thought nudged her heart. Forgive, not because he deserves it, but because it will set you free. Jesus said in Matthew 6 verses 14 to 15, "For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses." Those words lingered in her mind. Could she really deny Deo forgiveness when she herself needed grace from God? Tolu closed her eyes, whispering a prayer. God, help me. I don't know how to let go, but I know you do. In that moment, she felt something lift inside her. Not the pain, but the weight of carrying it alone. Deo finally turned from the window, his eyes landing on his wife. He saw the tiredness in her, the weariness of someone who'd been holding on to hurt for too long. His heart sank, and he knew he had to say something. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, but it carried a weight of sincerity. Tolu looked up, surprised by the softness in his tone. For the first time in days, their eyes met. "I didn't mean what I said," Deo continued, his voice breaking. "I was angry and took it out on you. I've hurt you, and I don't expect you to forgive me right away, but I need you to know I'm sorry." Tolu felt tears welling up. It wasn't just his words, but the vulnerability in his voice that broke something inside her. She wanted to hold on to her pain, to make him feel the hurt he had caused her, but something deeper called her to let go. "Deo," she began, her voice trembling, "I've been angry too, and I don't know how to just erase the hurt. But I'm willing to forgive. I just don't know how to start." That's when something remarkable happened. In that moment of raw honesty, the walls that had been built between them started to crumble. Forgiveness wasn't a single action, but a process, and they were both taking the first step toward healing. Days passed, and although things were improving, Toulouse still felt a lingering tension in the air. They were talking more, even laughing at times, but something was missing. Forgiveness had been offered, but true healing still seemed out of reach. One evening, as they sat in the living room, Toulouse's phone buzzed with a message. It was from her sister, reminding her of the family gathering that weekend.